Thanks, Akhilesh, for the comment. Yeah, I think we had 19 submissions from all over the world. So I think there's quite a few hundred of hours of work. It was also good to see many students from universities. I think that's one of our professors that also got his students to participate, which I think is good to have expert to beginners. So let's start. So I only have
and also Pratyusha from our team is also here. She's the one who makes sure all the data is collected from the field, and so I invited her as well to the call.
hello, nice to meet you.
Welcome.
So yeah, good morning, good evening. It's where I'm calling from. It's 11 p.m. It's 7, 8 o'clock in Canada. And anything else in between. So I think it's quite amazing. It's 5:30 in India. So I think it's quite. I still can't believe that we can connect through all of those different time zones in the world and then connect and help you guys. So I guess today's call is really for you, Akhilesh, and for you to basically see what those 4 volunteers have developed. But you also saw the other 15 other submissions. As I said, we had 19 submissions all up. So it's not a competition. So I think they're all amazing visuals. We can't select everyone. So we can go back. You can go back to the volunteers after the call as well. If you want to meet other people as well, we can invite other people as well. So it's not the end. I think obviously you'd like at some stage to have a dashboard that's connected to the live data in your Zoom setup. So I think this one was the first project to get you started and get you inspired. So I hope we inspired you, and then you see what DataVis can do and then what analysis can do. So the way that kind of meeting works is we've got 4 volunteers that have been selected by you, Akhilesh. They're given 10 minutes roughly to present their stories, their analysis. And if you are keen to give them feedback after each project or towards the end, and we might have QA, and they might have, as I said, maybe a follow-up session after in a few days, few weeks time, if you want them to do further work potentially. So we don't have any orders in terms of who's presenting first. I always ask if someone needs to go to work soon and needs to present first. Like Denise, you're probably on your way to work, for example. People in Canada, it's early for you. So I don't know if anyone is pressed with time and would want to present their work first, but we're quite open and flexible. So anyone would want to present first?
If that's okay, can I start first?
Sure, for sure.
Okay. So let me quickly share my screen.
Yeah, we see your screen now. It's coming up.
Okay.
Do you want to just introduce yourself first too?
Okay. I'm Hue. I'm from Vietnam, and basically I'm based in Dublin, Ireland, and I really excited to try this project. First thing to enhance the data analytics and data visualization skill, as well as to support the Kheyti projects, where I find this project is very interesting to support the farmer, increase their income, and increase the usability and efficiency of the greenhouse. Okay, so now I will go through the dashboard, which related to the data that Akhilesh sent us before. First of all, the dashboard is divided into 3 sections. The first one is the overview. The second one is the crop season and the farmer. So as you can see in the overview, I give the big number on the top with the total greenhouse, the total crop seasons, total farmers, and average seasons per greenhouse, and average seasons per farmer. And total greenhouse is based on the greenhouse that we have the data, because there are some greenhouse we don't have not been completed yet. So if Akhilesh, you would like to include all the data, it could be the bigger number. And on the left-hand side, you can see the number of greenhouse by the locations: southern region, central, eastern, and northern. And when we click on each region, you can see the map on the right-hand side will selected as well. And when we hold over to the map, we can see the city list with the number of the greenhouse accordingly. And if you want to have the more details of the how many greenhouses in which locations, we can click on this information icon here, and then you can see more drill down information by state, by the city, and the highest number will be on the top, etc. And here we can see the darker green will have more greenhouse. So it's easy for us to focus which regions has more greenhouse. And then you can see the lighter color. We have more opportunity to increase the greenhouse program for those farmers. And on the right-hand side is the cumulative number of the greenhouse. So from the 2018 to 2016, we see the increasing accumulated number of the greenhouse, and the current number is 6,431. And when you choose the annually, we can see the trend year by year, and we can see the highest number is in 2024, and then it dropped out in the 25 and 26. So I see that we have more opportunity to increase more campaigns to encourage farmers to use the greenhouse. And another chart below here is to compare year on year. For example, here I choose the 2025, so which means the green one is 2025 and the red bar is for the 2024. So if you have the more data in this year, we can have more number in the green bar in February, March, etc. So this is the overview of the greenhouse performance. And move to the next section is the crop season. In the crop seasons, the first chart show how many crops has been tried by the season. We have total from 1 to 24 season. And then as we can see that the season number 4 has the highest. Crops has been tried up to more than 4,000 crops. And then the next one is the number of the season by the crop category. So we can see the vegetable crop is the most common one. And when we click here, we can drill down to see which subcategory is more common by the farmers. So for example, for the vegetable, English cucumber, tomato, and cauliflower are the top 3 for vegetable. And when we go through the next chart, we have the duration days for the crop. And we can see here the average days is 107 days. So any bar below the average, which means that the farmer needs less day to grow their crop. So for example, here we see the vegetable crop is the most common one, but here fruit take more time to grow. So to increase the usability, maybe we can choose the vegetable here and see which vegetable has the less duration crop by clicking in the drill down here. So for example, here for the vegetable, we can see potato, cabbage, etc. Need less the duration day than the average one. And then we also have the number of season by the location. So here we have the state, the highest number of the crop season by the state will be on the top, and the right one will be the average seasons per greenhouse. So the dark will be above the average 1.8 season per greenhouse. So any bar below this average, which means we have more opportunity to utilize this for this area. For example, we see have only 770 crops for this state, and the average season only less than 1.88. And then when we drill down on the state, we can have more data per city. So we can drill down to see which city we can utilize more on the number of the season. And then on the right-hand side, we can see the crop frequency, which means the number of crop has been tried by the crop category. So the dark green will be the more crop has been tried during the year. For example, we see that the vegetable crop has been grown from January to December, and the highest will be in October and in February. The same for the other crop category. And if you want to have more drill down data, we can click here and we can have more crop name, subcategory, etc. here. And the last one is the farmer. For the farmer, I break it down into the farmer cohort profile related to the how many, based on the service type, how many farmers contact in person. So we see that most of the farmers are contact in person. So if we want to launch this campaign remotely, we still have the room to improve by this one. And the next one is the farmer tenure. Most of the farmer is from 2 to 3 years. So in order to retain the farmer, I suggest that we still need other or different campaigns to retain the farmer, to increase 4 to 5 years or more than that, to keep the farmer remain in this greenhouse program. And for the farmer crop season, basically they have 1 to 2 season only. So we still have more opportunity to encourage them to grow and try more season. And in terms of the grow analysis, we have 3 options here: by the service grow or on the yearly row. The active rate is 99.36%. And if we compare in the cumulative row, is the active user is around 89.57%. So this number is rather good, and we still have some more room to improve the active rate of the new user. And the next one is adjective analysis. So here we can see that the majority, the farmer allocation is the small farmer is 75%. And the right-hand side is the crop frequency by the farmer. So most of them, they are small farmer and they grow vegetable and mixed crop more than the other type of the crop. And the land farmer holding in by structural side, as you can see, most of them are small farmer and they acquire only 240 side in square meter. And the large farmer, they acquire 361 square meter. So if we focus to develop on the large farmer, we still have more room to increase the side length for those one, and then we can discuss with them to understand if they can expand the size of the land holding to increase the usability and efficiency of the crop or not. And
we probably should wrap it up shortly, just to give others time to present.
Sorry, can you say that again?
No, I'm just saying, can you just wrap it up quickly, just 30 more seconds, so the others can present as well?
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and the number of crop traveled by the seasons and the farmer, we can see that the small farmer also occupy the majority by the season number 1, and the total here is the highest as well. And on the right-hand side is the detailed list of the farmer ID, years of tenure, number of the greenhouse that they acquire. Yeah, so that is the overview of the dashboard that I designed for the project. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of work, you. Akhilesh, do you have maybe a couple of minutes of feedback? Cautious of time as well.
No, so I think some feedback I've already shared on this Slack, but I just wanted to highlight again that I love how it's a good balance between going into details as well as giving a quick overview, which is what our targeted audience, our funders would really appreciate. Like if anyone has the time, they can go into the details as well, but if not, they get a quick overview as well. So that's really nice. Thanks a lot, Hue.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks again, you. Who wants to be next? Who wants to present next? Yeah, keeping in mind, maybe keep within the 10 minutes. I don't have the timer, but maybe I should. Who wants to talk next? Who wants to go first or second?
Yeah, I can go.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it, Steph. So maybe tell us quickly where you're calling from.
Sure. So I'm Steph from Canada. I have a bit of a background in data viz. I was with the local chapter of Data for Good here in Ottawa for about 4 years. And mind you, that was quite a while ago, but I've always kind of been involved in the data world and really like to do the data visualization. I had in this dashboard a bit of an advantage in the sense that I was able to pull down the income data early on in the project. And then it was determined after that we shouldn't be using income data. But I made sure that it was okay and got the okay to sort of keep the dashboard as is. But I believe I'm the only one who had that advantage. So I apologize for that to the others. It took me about 7 days to do this. It's based on sort of a non-traditional platform when it comes to data viz. So it's not using Tableau or Power BI. It's using Python and a JavaScript library called D3. And the reason I did that is because I do a lot of work with agentic AI these days, building lots of other sort of non-visual applications. And I wanted to sort of apply those skills to data visualization. So I needed to go with a visualization approach that was programmatic. So you can't really use AI very well against something like Tableau. But you can do it with D3. D3 is a very pure programmatic library that these agentic AI tools can understand very well. That said, AI has its challenges when you're working with dashboards like this. You absolutely have to know what you're doing. It still took me, like I said, 7 days to do this. But AI gets very confused when you do anything complicated like cohort analysis and stuff like that. What it's good for is kind of creating the basic foundation of the data, and it's good for creating the ETL pipelines to do the data transformations. But if I just had no background in visualization, this would have been a disaster. Just to get right into the dashboard, being sensitive to time, this first page is just a summary page. And again, it's kind of, this dashboard is sort of very income data centric. So that's kind of where I dug into the detail. This is just a summary dashboard showing some metrics you'd expect to see. I won't get into the sort of details too much. It's available for anybody to kind of see, but you can see it's, I tend to go minimalist when I build dashboards. I sort of focus on maximum information versus ink. And you'll see that you still have some utility here. You can still click around in these different geographic regions. And there's tooltips that kind of fly out everywhere, but it tends to be fairly minimal. I do include little annotations to try and explain the graph where it kind of helps understand what it's conveying. This data ends at 2025. It does not include any of the 2026 data. At some point, I'll just kind of show you this later. Once the 2026 data comes in, or any data for that matter, you can just upload it here and this dashboard will update for you, no problem, as long as you follow the format of the Excel spreadsheet. So it's just summary page, income impact. We have an income analysis kind of broken down by state and year. You can view, here we sort of have our target set for $300. And we can see a couple of years we've actually hit those targets monthly here. You can break it down this way and you can sort of see some seasonality effect in what's going on here. This target line doesn't make sense at the monthly level. That should disappear, but definitely makes sense at the yearly level. There's basic stuff in here about, income distribution, and your typical graph showing median, broken down by the size of the cohort, small, medium, large. Again, you can drill down into the specifics here if you want to get more detail on specific years. It does switch to a median graph if you go, sorry, I'm forgetting what this graph is called. Anyway, when you go down to a yearly level, it's going to show you just this bullet graph here. And again, you still have this sort of ability to go to the monthly level. Geographic region, just more statistics on the actual sort of distribution of farms within the region. This is the same graph you saw on the summary sheet. My understanding here is that the northwesternmost provinces are basically desert, and then you get sort of more arid, or sorry, more moderate climates as you go further to the east. Lots of rainfall in some of these provinces, or states, I should say. Income graph distribution by state. So we can see that this province has the widest distribution of income within the 50% quartile. So 50% of all farms in the region are having income between $100 and 1.2K. That's pretty self-explanatory. I think engagement is kind of where it gets fun. So here we have an analysis of cohorts. So essentially what we're saying here is if I pick a year where a group of farmers joined in the program, we can see how they have fallen off as the years go by. So if they started in 2019, we call that a cohort. Mind you, there's only 29 that started in that year. But we can see by year 2 that retention dropped to 83%, and it kind of diminishes as you might expect over the years. And then you can sort of pick any cohort. It's pretty consistent, I found. You might sort of wonder why the cohort for 2020 and 2021 dropped a little bit in year 2 versus the other years, which are showing slightly higher, but there's nothing very dramatic going on here. This graph just kind of shows that same information visually on the left. This particular year, so this is your 2024 cohort, and we're finding that they drop off a bit faster than you would expect. So that would be an interesting area to sort of investigate and understand why that effect is there. The rest of the graphs are just kind of extra information. I won't go into depth there, but it's just sort of extra stuff. And then the other thing I've added here is some regression analysis, which I got a bit of a background in as well. So on the other hand, I'm not a researcher, so this is just sort of inspirational. It's just saying, hey, there might be something here. If you're a professional researcher, you might want to take this on and dig in further. There could be very plausible explanations right out of the gate about why this isn't true. I wouldn't know that, but it's just here for interest's sake. And a lot of these things kind of make sense, I think, intuitively, but again, it's something that you would have to sort of dig into and understand. Someone who's much more educated in the domain than I am. Growth and scale, similar stuff. The quality as the programs evolved over the years maintained this sort of threshold of $200 above median, and we can see that as the program scaled, at least the quality was preserved, which is great. Acquisition channels. I know there was a note here about the government outreach program. having been new, and it takes a while for the outreach to kind of work through that channel. So it's sort of artificially showing that the outreach isn't happening as quickly as it normally would with the other channels, but that's expected. So not something to be alarmed about. And then this is pure regression analysis, pure exploratory, purely hypothetical. Hypothetical is sort of an educated guess about what's going on, but this isn't exactly shocking information. Monsoons, I mean, I guess I learned something from it, but monsoon season tends to be more productive. I always thought that would be kind of reverse, but I gather, yeah, if you've got lots of rain, you can grow lots of crops, and that makes sense. Weather impact, we've got a marginal difference here. Yes, incomes affected by extreme heat. Not a surprise, I don't think. Monsoon season is peak income time. And then we've got, sort of extra stuff in here that you can dive into if that is interesting. And then there's a bunch of research citations. I did go off and check out some papers, imported some climate data through the open data sets over there, and some crop yield data, pulled in some data about how tomato plants grow under certain conditions. And it just turns out that tomatoes don't do well when it rains too much. They don't do well when it's too hot, that kind of thing. And that's pretty much it. We can upload data here. Again, if you were the administrator at the organization, this is where you would go, and you would have a special account that only you could use to upload data. So it's got this authentication built in. You go here. I'm just going to grab the 2026 data. It goes to that whole sort of back-end transformation process again, and then it updates the dashboard. And hopefully this goes pretty quickly. I'll just say in the meantime that right now this is all sort of hosted on Azure. It's a pretty simple architecture. So you have several options. They're all sort of documented here in the README file, but you can deploy it anywhere that will host a static website for you. You can just deploy it to your own internal IT environment if you have that capability, or you can put it out in Cloudflare. There's lots of places you can do it, GitHub, but it's not heavy on the back end. It's just a couple of scripts that run. There's no big piece of infrastructure back there. It's really just the front end website that you have to worry about. And there's our data. Did it come through? I think our data I think I made a last minute change where I said cut it off at 2025. So I might not have that data reflected here.
Steph, quick question.
We do.
When you see your key insight boxes in yellow there, is that generated by AI, or you've written that?
So you can generate that. That's what I did. So the sort of process I follow is I'll do this. I'll just throw it against the AI to say, hey, come up with some explanation for what you're seeing here. And then I'll sort of make some attempt to chase it down to, gauge its veracity, and then I'll tweak it if it's sort of hallucinating. But yeah, it is all to be taken with a grain of salt, right? My mission was to sort of give you food for thought, pardon the pun. But surely, and then disclaimers are all over this thing. I'm not a researcher. These things are not to be taken as direct inferences. They should be explored by someone more qualified than me.
Yeah. Steph, I might just contact you offline. I begin to explore your learning about the process itself, maybe for a webinar or another events potentially. But Akhilesh, do you have any general comment? I know you provided some, but general one.
No, I just like how deep you have gone into each of the graphs, each of the data points, and the analysis also. And in fact, even you mentioning that the first season actually makes a huge difference, and that's what something we have seen at Kheyti as well, and our operations team, services team make sure that the first season is the season that we focus on, because that builds or breaks the confidence of the farmer to use greenhouses, because they have never done that before. if it fails in the first season, they lose the confidence and they feel this is not going to work out. But if they actually succeed in that first season, it actually makes a lot of difference. So quite a few analysis pointers that you have made. Great to see that. Oh, just looking at the data, you have been able to see that. So love the thoughtfulness that has gone into it, and also like very clean visualizations and in-depth analysis. So thanks for that. And also very excited to see how initially, even before the kickoff, you started the analysis and the project. So love that energy.
Right. Yeah. And I did modify it based on your feedback. So it's all up to date, reflecting your comments. Your point about, how you can sort of see this information come out visually. Yeah, it's one of my big learning experiences over the years is there are things that you can only almost see visually. There's trends that jump out off the page that you can't just see looking at a spreadsheet, which I suppose is not novel, right? But it's always surprising how much effect that can make.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Amazing work, Steph, and beautiful,
All right.
beautiful, and a lot of insights. So a lot of food for thought, as you said.
Thank you, Steph. You did mention that you were keeping it simple, which I think is fantastic. It's hard for a lot of data viz professionals to keep it simple and get the message across. They tend to go crazy with the vizzes. So no, great work, and can't believe you did this in 7 days. So must be like a Superman with data.
Yeah, well, AI has a lot to do with that. That is the future, and there's something like this in the past would have taken me months. It makes a big difference. Yeah.
I like you pick your brain, maybe Steph, at a different stage when we can interview you on that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, everybody.
Cheers.
Pratisha, do you want to add anything?
I'm good. Probably in the end, I don't want to take a lot of time.
Good. So, Dennis or Urmimala?
Yes.
Urmimala? Okay, let's go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, everybody. My name is Urmimala. Currently vacationing in India, but based in Tampa, Florida. So for my case, I joined very late. Tail end of this project. So within 5-6 days, I tried to come out with the guidelines, but yesterday I found that guidelines was redundant. That is that long ago I downloaded that and work on that. So let me share my dashboard first, then I'll come to my PowerPoint. Okay, can you see now?
Yes.
Yes, this is me. Okay, so this is actually the first screen you can see when you open my dashboard. This is the KPI. What I found, my data set has something different from the others. I don't know, they have 2018, but in my data set is 2020 to 2025. Anyway, so this is the KPI, the first one, the farmers, then greenhouse number. See how the trend is growing. So here in 2020, here I found 1 farmers join, and then 2025 is 3777. Actually, I applied a filter in data source level. So only you can see the 8 states data. No others data is here. So actually I did from the Akhilesh feedback. So this is the KPI, which says the upward trend to the greenhouse and the cumulative yield achievement rate. In my data set, I found there is a yield and target yield, and then income and target income. So my entire data visualization is actually that centric. Something like you could say the farmer's prosperity, right? So here is my first chart. Is basically a simple bar chart where I try to find out those farmers who cross the baseline. that is baseline is a 65,000 INR. So 2 of they already passed that. This is the baseline. And some of them still lag behind. But one interesting thing is that everybody is surpassing the target income. This income is actually annual farmer income. I aggregate per farmer year fixed LOD I did in Tableau, and then the summation of the income, and then averaging then in this particular chart. And my data story actually flow from this chart to this chart. So something here I found, I just try to extend this one, the next chart. So this chart is basically a trend breaking, how this particular archetype did throughout the year from 2020 to 2025. One interesting thing is I found that the income is increasing, but you see the target is going down. It seems the model works so well. Target is nothing, it's just a child play. So this is the second one, second chart. Third chart is about the farmer's income per 240 square meter of, the area, the greenhouse area, the unit, per unit. So here, I think the requirement was to find out how many farmers actually passed the minimum threshold, that is 1800, 700 INR per year. So here I found 4 of the archetype actually passed that one. They all earn more than $225. And 2 is still in progress. And this one is actually extension of that one. Number of farmers join here. This one is very... So you can see here, this color is actually in progress. And this is actually greater than $225. So at this 2024, I think this is the highest point where the number of farmer household income is greater than 225. That is a 39% of all farmers. And here this is the 61% who is still in progress. In 2025, something happened, it still dropped down to 26% from 31%, and still this is a 74%. So this is all about the financial growth of the farmers. Next thing is the harvest precision. Harvest precision is nothing but the yield target and divided by the actual one. Because I want to find out the ratio of the yielding and the target yielding. So what I found that in each of these farmer archetype, everybody has achieved the target. Not only target, this is actually, if you accumulate and averaging this one, this will come something like 136.7%. It's really, the model is so robust that it doesn't need, it doesn't depend on any of the farmer's archetype, right? And this particular chart is again the breakdown of this thing year-wise, it is trend. One particular thing I found for dealer archetype in 2022, how come this percentage come 42,906.3%? I mean, it may be the outlier, maybe I work with a different data set, I don't know. But later on, this one, everything is 100%, but it's not coming because of this outlier. Everyone here is more than 100%, that's for sure. The next chart here is something, I break down the crop type, yield ratio with the farmer archetype. And here you can find almost, just to try to find out that which crop type is actually sweet spot for which farmer archetype. So here the maximum number I found that the crop not recommended actually give a good percentage of outcome, I mean harvest, right? So this chart is for that. And next is, here is I try to find out 10 crops by income density. That means income density means per square meter. Each, what I try to find out is the income per square meter for each crop type. So here I found out that chili nursery give the maximum yield percentage and the crop income efficiency is 25.5 K per square meter. So this is the 10 types of 10 top crops which we found in this data set. Next is the farmer partnership. This first chart is the learning curve of income evolution by experience. What I did is, it is a scatter plot. And this is the year of experience, with the farmers. And this is the income per unit 240 square meter of the greenhouse. So here each point is actually the farmer, and you can find how much income they made, annual normalized income per unit, right? And this color is if they have multiple greenhouse. So this information you can get from this particular chart. And this chart is actually the extension of that. If a farmer has a number of units, whether the income is growing and target is they achieve their target. So in most cases, they achieve the target except the 5 units, farmer with the 5 units and the 40 units has some issues. So I did find this one is very important because I don't know why the 5 units ownership people have not reached the target here. So next is basically cohort analysis type. I just break down the seasons farmer from 1 to 2 seasons. I call this is as the exploratory season, people who try to explore this model. This one and this one kind of veteran. They come back and try for the next one. And I didn't go more than 6+% because at this point, they are the loyal customer, all loyal farmers, right? So up to 42% is actually coming back to the greenhouse model and try to this model for, again, sorry for the interruption. And this one is actually the breakdown of this season year-wise. As you see in the first 1-2 season, its number is high. But for the 3 to 5 season, this number is a little bit going down. And for the 6 seasons is a little bit of in between, not too much. But for 2024, 2025, it's a little bit of less. This is all about this dashboard. Now let's go back to my PowerPoint presentation. I don't know if you can see this one. Can you see this one?
Urmimala, can we maybe wrap in 1 minute? We just want to give Denise also some time. If you can maybe wrap maybe in a couple of minutes, max.
Okay, yes, I can, yes. So can you see this one? My PowerPoint.
No, we cannot see Tableau.
Okay.
We can't see the PowerPoint. Yeah, now we can see it.
So this is actually the mission and the focus is current state. And I break down this entire my work in 3 different things. As you see, this is very important. My data set, I found 2020 is 1 and then it's 384. So the percentage of expression to the baseline is actually a huge percentage. Similar thing I found for the farmers network is started with 1 and then it's 377, which is actually 377 600%. So basically I already explained this one. So what I found from this one, the target achievement, everybody actually achieve the target and baseline success. This one is I already speak about that. Whether the income trend is going up, whether targeting is going down. This is poverty exit achievement. The data confirm that 4 distinct farmer orchard has successfully crossed the poverty exit threshold for this one, as I explained. And then this one I already explained. That significant shift share households surpassing that 2 to 5 is in this point. So this is the real thing. One important stuff I want to share that. Okay. Oh, shoot.
Actually, I think we do need to wrap it up. I'm sorry, but we only have 9 minutes left. So we need Dennis to present as well as get some feedback from
Okay, so
Akhilesh.
this one is
Thank you.
actually explained. So this is the conclusion. Let me go back to what I found from this important. The explosive growth in farmer rich and greenhouse infrastructure. Then the income achievement that nearly every farmer archetype successfully hit their average target income. 4 of the key farmer is actually poverty exit, cross the poverty exit threshold. Then agriculture precisions, that I already explained. Economic mastery, network maturity. And this is actually the result of this scalable ecosystem where high velocity expansion and sustainable farmer wealth work in perfect harmony. So thank you for my presentation. Thank you for
A lot of analysis.
listening to me.
A lot of analysis.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
Urmimala. That's a lot of work.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we can keep the feedback for when Dennis is presenting. I just want to make sure we can present. Thanks a lot, Urmimala. I think a lot of good work in there.
Thank you.
Dennis, you want to showcase your views as well, please?
Hello, everybody. Mine will be fairly short, I think. Relatively short. My name is Dennis Cao. I am a professor in social work at Carleton University in Ottawa. And I went a slightly different direction, maybe a different direction. So I wanted to try to create less of a dashboard, but maybe more of an infographic that's engaging with quick insights. And I focus mainly on the geographic distribution. Are you seeing my viz right now?
Yes, we
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about that. So in terms of simple, I kept it simple in color. I stayed with the color palette that was provided. And basically I honed in on maybe 3 or 4 of the colors. For those who are familiar with some of my work, I've done GIS for about 15 or so years, and so I generally start any project, with kind of I start from a spatial perspective, and I do that in my research as well. And so I started with the maps, and kind of built the viz around the maps, and just really wanted to hone in on the geographic distribution by state and as well as cities, village, place. I'll just call it place generically. And then the other thing I wanted to really do is create a viz or infographic that can function as a static visualization. And so this could be like printed or put into a report in some way. And so everything, but it's also interactive. but I wanted to make sure that it could function first as a static visualization, where you don't need to interact with it, but you can get enough insights. And so, of course, the static version just focuses mainly on the kind of overall kind of country and by state and stuff like that. But we kept the analysis really simple. Top 5 places in the corner, a few KPIs, just the key KPIs, farmers, number of states, number of places, greenhouses, things like that. And then for those who interact with it online, all the marks are hoverable, and so even the KPIs, I included just some like more information. So for example, the KPI for greenhouses, it shows a bar chart broken out by state. 74% were small farmers, but then if you hover over it, there's a little bar chart as well. And then the interactive part is using this smaller state map. The user can point to and click on a particular state, and then it will filter out all the information. And so this by itself could also function as a static visualization if you wanted to really hone in on a particular state. And so you'll notice that all the KPIs as well as the charts also got filtered by that data. Now I won't go into all the different analysis, but that's generally the gist. So hopefully, it creates I can't reset it for some reason. Sorry, my internet's a little slow today. But hopefully it functions as a static infographic with some interaction, very simple, with some quick insights that hopefully, I think I saw in the brief that one of the audiences was funders, and I imagine that they're not going to want to spend a lot of time digging through data, and so I just wanted to provide kind of a snapshot of a few things that highlight the amazing work that the organization is doing. And so yeah, so that's the gist. Thank you for the opportunity. I learned a lot. I generally don't like the map places that I'm not familiar with, but we've done so many projects on India, so I'm starting to get a little bit familiar with the geography of India, but it's still a massive country and all. But I appreciate the opportunity. I look forward to any feedback you might have today or in Slack. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. So
Akhilesh,
yeah, amazing work, and we all learned something, don't we? Akhilesh, do you have general feedback about the for volunteers? We don't have too much time, but maybe we'll also explain that we can catch up later. Akhilesh, we can meet, and then because there's a lot of insight in there, so you might have a lot of questions to volunteers, so we can do follow-up session as well. But
yeah, I
if you
think
have,
whatever questions I have, I'll separately talk with volunteers on Slack. But love the work, and as Steph also mentioned, until you see it in the visualization format, it's hard to actually see what the data is saying, and seeing it in 4 different ways. All of them have their different styles, so it was really interesting to see all of that. So thank you so much for all the effort and time. I'm saying it again and again, but I understand how much work has gone into it, and I really appreciate and value the efforts that you guys have put in. So thanks a lot from the entire Kheyti team as well, and all the farmers also.
good.
And whenever, if you visit India, Urmimala, you are here, we would love to have you over for a field visit as well. So whenever you guys are in India, do let us know, and we would like to arrange for a visit to our farmers as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Thank you for the offer.
Okay.
I would also like to hear from the volunteers here, anything that we could have done differently, or even you can share it on Slack with me, how we can make our data collection process better, and overall sharing the data, and what are your ideas on taking the project forward as well.
And also, Akhilesh, if I'm not mistaken, thinking that you'd hope that a few of those dashboards could eventually be connected to the real data set, your live data system at some stage, potentially, that you could use those for operational purpose, which is in Zoom. So Zoho, I think, sorry. So maybe that could be a next stage as well, where we can connect with the volunteers and then do a bit of more work.
Yeah, which is also why I got Pratyusha also on this call, because she's the one who manages our Zoho. Yeah.
Good. So
thanks, Jessica.
Any questions from the volunteers or any comments? Or are you happy to chat offline on Slack? We've got a couple of minutes left, so.
Actually, Frederick, we may have to wrap up because I just realized my next call is with another charity and it's using our Zoom thing. So.
Too bad.
So, yeah.
So as I said, Akhilesh and the team would meet maybe to work out the next step. So I'd like to thank the 29 volunteers or 19, I forgot, it's like here. All amazing work, a lot of good insights. So I suspect Akhilesh has to digest a lot. So please keep it connected. Use Slack as a way. We're going to showcase organize another project in a few weeks' time. So we'll be in touch. But thanks everyone. Thanks Akhilesh as well for engaging in Slack, providing amazing feedback to our volunteers, and thanks for the volunteers there for the work you've done. Amazing work.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks Amelia for your work as well. And thanks
you,
Kevin, for joining in.
We'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.